You know exactly who I'm talking about. I didn't even have to say a name. I didn't even have to suggest anything. Someone already came to your mind when you clicked on this video. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So the thing is, you know this woman because she's always at the birthday party, she's always at the baby showers, she might even be in your church, but you know her because you know her, and you come across her at the worst possible points in time. You might not even be trying to talk to anyone, you're definitely not trying to talk to her. You could be outside, you could be inside, they could come to your house, you could come across them. Basically you're seeing them when you don't want to see them, right? That's just the baseline of the situation. And it's like, when they do see you, they always have something to say. And the funny thing is that their energy is like, it's not loud, it's not brash, but it is very much in your face and to the point. And it's always about your hair, it's always about your clothes, it's always about your weight. Your weight is the big one. It's always about something that you just didn't actually ask them about to begin with. You actually don't even ask them. You don't care for their opinion, but they're going to share it with you anyway. And I just find it so fascinating that I wanted to speak about it today, because I think there's a big lesson that can be learned from them. And that's what we're going to be getting into. Today we have green tea with ginger tea, and it's in my little DBZ mug. So we'll start off today with why she's actually like that. Quick drink though. Okay, so I do think there needs to be some grace, because nobody just wakes up nasty, right? There's things that happen to you that make you end up being there, and I think the fact that so many of us have this universal experience, like it's literally a universal experience amongst Black women, I think it's something that we definitely have to take a closer look at and identify where things went wrong. And just a very quick disclaimer, I am a British person, right? Okay, I know people like to say auntie, aunt, you know how it goes. Today we're going to be saying auntie, okay? So if you have a problem with that, you might as well just click off the video now, because I don't have your time. So looking at the situation, I think a lot of the women grew up in this time where you basically didn't have any options, right? You marry the guy that you probably met in church or that your family introduced you to. You stay at home, you do things that are approved of you, you don't really have many options outside of like the very traditional path. And you never really get to do what you wanted, no one really asked you what you wanted. You might have had things that you wanted to do, but you never really got to do them. So when they see a younger woman with these options where you're able to choose yourself, you're able to travel, you're able to build something, you're able to try out different things that you like or dislike, you're able to be confident in yourself and in your own body, I think there's something within them that just starts to stir up a bit. Like it just rubs them the wrong way, because they feel like, I was so robbed of this experience and this freedom, so why does this random person get all of that? And it definitely isn't admiration. It's more closer to like grief and 110% jealousy. And I think it's because of, you know, all the stuff that they just obviously couldn't get out of their own lives, and the way that they probably feel like stuck now, if we're gonna put a word behind it. And I do sympathize with that, obviously, because it's just our luck that we were born within this time frame and we're able to live the lives that we live now. But, and I say this a very big but, that is not our problem. Like, it's not our problem, and we don't have to absorb your issues, and you don't really get to transfer your pain on somebody else and then call that wisdom. Like, it's insane. I mean, someone like me, right, I am very much confident in my own skin now, but when I was younger, I wasn't as confident as I am now. And people saying things, although I actually never really cared about what the aunties said about me, because they were just, I already knew that there wasn't something right up here, right? But saying things like that to someone who isn't built like me is insane. Like, the things that you say to people is very important. It's very powerful. I've never really understood why people act like people's words don't matter. I think words can impact far more than me hitting you around the head can, to be honest. And for a lot of women, they've been brought down by these aunties, and it's had a very big effect on who they are as a person. I think out of all of these aunties, the worst ones are the ones that always try to frame it as concern for you, concern for your health. And please don't get me wrong, because I have a lot of good aunties in my life, and they have actually said things, whether that is about my hair, my clothes, or my weight, out of the place of concern. And I'm not talking about them, I'm talking about the ones that try to come across as if they're some sort of helpful mentor, and the reality of the situation is that they're just shading you, and they know that they're shading you, and they know that you won't have the mouth to, like, cut back at them for the shade because you were raised by respectful parents. But they're cutting it very close, because at least for myself, I only have so much patience left in me. And I'm getting to a point at an age where I don't really feel like I have to eat your disrespect anymore, and I'll call it for what it is, because it is disrespect. But here's the cautionary part, right? So when I do come across these women, I tend to just like make a mental file of it, not necessarily in the way of, you've hurt my feelings, I'm gonna hold that until the end of times. Most times they don't even really hurt my feelings. I just kind of see them and I pity them, to be honest. Like, I pity them, I feel bad for them, because their bitterness doesn't really come from anywhere, but it's more so an accumulation of what they perceive to be their own failures. And it's from like their deferred dreams, from failing to choose what they desired truly, and from waking up and realizing that they're probably living like somebody else's version of their life, probably from their parents or from their friends or from whoever it is that they let to actually like convince them to be who they are today. And don't get me wrong, because I'm not saying that like having children and having a husband is, as a responsibility, is like a failure in any way, shape or form. Like I also want those things for myself someday. But what I am saying is that I want those things and I also want my things. So like there's a version of me that could just take the small and easy traditional path and follow what people are telling me to do and go down that way, but that's the version of me that comes out very resentful. I basically think about her a lot because that is the version of me that is my motivation, because I never want to become her. Like younger me wouldn't want to become her, current me doesn't want to become her, but it's always a possibility, right? And you should never think that you're above becoming something just because it's so out of like your current perception. And so nowadays, when I'm doing something or when I want to choose something, I'm kind of like, would this make me the miserable auntie? Like, would this make me her? Because I don't want to be her in any way, shape or form. And I hope you don't want to be her either. And so if the answer is yes, then I make the adjustments accordingly. Like, I'm not trying to be here and choose something that I know isn't aligned for me, that isn't going to allow me to be like, I'm glad I made that decision. Even if the decision is something that I would end up regretting or end up disliking, I at least did it, you know? I'd rather do something and be sad or mad that I did it than to not do it and always question what if. But this also isn't just about me living the life that I want. I think there's also an aspect of faith in it because I am a Christian. And another thing that I always want to consider is this what God wants for my life as well? Because it's important for us to show up for the life that God gave us, not just kind of sleepwalk through it or like follow the path that everybody else around you is setting as opposed to the one that God has set for your life as well. And definitely not outsourcing your decisions to other people's expectations, because that's a very big one. Everybody around you is always going to have an opinion on your life, but if you can never make a decision for yourself, you're going to find yourself looking in the mirror and hating what you see. And I think that's where a lot of these aunties have gone wrong. And if you are seeing that you are in that mindset, please do not be worried because there is still time. I mean, I think the fact that you clicked on this video means that you either have someone like that in your life, you could even be that someone, or you're just curious, right? But if you're looking at your own life now and thinking, damn, I never really make decisions for what I want, I've never really kind of put myself first, or even just put God into my plans, if you are someone that's a Christian, right? There's still time. You're alive today, you're breathing. Put God into it now, put yourself into it now, do the things that you desire to do. Because at the end of the day, what you build, what you accumulate, what you invest in, what you let go of, those things are all of the things that are essentially going to compound. And you want everything in your life to compound in the right direction. And so yeah, these aunties are a cautionary tale. I don't hate them, I don't dislike them. I really just pity them and I refuse to become them. And if you're watching this and you know this woman, please just ignore her. Just let her do her. Pray for her if you're a Christian, pray for her honestly, but don't hate her. Because at the end of the day, it's the woman that's come up empty in life and she's taking it out on you. And it also says a lot about you, right? You're someone that's doing what you want. You're someone that's confident in yourself. She sees a light in you that you might not even be able to see in yourself. And so please, please, please don't allow somebody else to knock you down because they're miserable with their own life. Be who you want to be. If you are that woman, it's not too late to change. If you see yourself becoming that woman, it's not too late to change. But yeah, that is all I have to say. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.